Thank you for watching this video. Today we will be doing technical analysis on the S&P 500 for Tuesday, December 15th, 2020. And for this analysis, we will be using stockcharts.com. That is the charting service that I use and pay for, and I will leave a link to their site in the description box below this video. My name is Rodney Constable. I am a former financial advisor, a former vice president of a major mutual fund company, and I am the president and founder of Simple Market Signals at simplemarketsignals.com. Today, the S&P 500 was up 1.29%, and we closed at 3694.62. The first chart that we're going to look at is a 10-day, 10-minute candlestick chart of the S&P 500. So each candlestick on this chart does represent 10 minutes of trading. Let's start off with today. So we gapped up at the open, sold off from there until about 11 o'clock in the morning, and then had a pretty nice rally until the end of the day and closed near the highs of the session. Now, moving over to the left, yesterday we had a really nice morning, but we peaked around 10:30 and then sold off for the balance of the day and had what's called an intraday reversal. That's pretty bearish daily price action. And what I don't like about today is today's highs did not equal yesterday's highs. So even though we had a very nice day up 1.29%, we still did not get back to the highs that we set yesterday. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. And since we peaked and traded above 3,700, which is this blue line here, back on December 8th, which so far that's the only day in the history of the S&P 500 with a close above 3,700. But you can see we traded on the 8th above 3,700 and then opened on the 9th above 3,700, but couldn't hold that and had another intraday reversal. And we sold off for the next few days, and we'll take a look at that on the next couple of charts. But the point is here, guys, it's been very little trading above 3,700 so far. And since this peak right here, where we got up to about 37.12, 37.13 intraday, our highs have been lower. Okay, so we've had a succession of lower highs. That is not a really positive pattern, at least in the short term. So we will want to keep our eye on that. The next chart that we're going to look at is an hourly candlestick chart of the S&P 500, again focusing on the last 10 days. And what we can see on this chart is there's only been 6 hourly candles that have closed above 3,700 on the S&P 500 in the entire history of that index, and that is back here, of course, on the 8th and on the 9th in the morning. So this 3,700 area could be a challenge for us to get above. And again, even on these hourly candles, you can see that the highs continue to go lower as we go forward in time. So just something to watch, to keep our eye on. Now, the good news is once we get above and stay above 3,700, that will let us know that the market is strengthening. But right now, we're seeing lower highs over the last 5 trading sessions on the S&P 500, and it's just showing some relative weakness, at least for now. The next chart that we're going to look at is a 10-day daily candlestick chart of the S&P 500. So again, we're focusing on these last 10 days just to really understand what's been going on over the last 2 weeks of trading. And I want to start off over here on the left. And the one thing I want to point out here is over the last 10 days, we haven't even had 2 positive days in a row on the S&P 500. So you can see here we had a positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, and then 4 negative days in a row. Of course, after hitting the 3,700 close right here on the 8th. So again, this is the only day so far on December 8th where we've been able to close above 3,700 on a daily basis. We had that intraday reversal on the 9th, sold off on the 10th, the 11th, and of course the intraday reversal yesterday on the 14th. Today, again, had a pretty nice day, up 1.29%, but we still have not been able to get back above yesterday's high, and of course, back above the highs that we set back on the intraday high that we set on the 9th. So we're seeing this succession of lower highs. Weakness in the market where we haven't even been able to put together 2 positive days in a row. So tomorrow could be critical, right? Is December 16th, a positive day on the S&P 500. Can we get back above the 3,700 level and close above 3,700 on the S&P 500 tomorrow? So if tomorrow, the 16th, is positive and we close above 3,700 for only the second time in the history of the S&P 500, that will be a pretty good sign in the short term that maybe all the market needed was these 4 negative days in a row to bleed off a little pressure, allowing it to once again regain its upside movement. So the next few days of trading in the S&P 500 will be critical. For now, what we know is over the last 10 days, the trading has been pretty choppy.